Jaden Ivey has released and posted a number of posts that has some of us around Bulls Nation and the NBA world wondering what is going on with Jaden Ivey. I want to discuss that. I also want to discuss Matas Buzelis sharing his belief in head coach Billy Donovan. Plus, the Chicago Bulls have a matchup versus the San Antonio Spurs later tonight. So we're going to discuss that as well. But before we talk about it, break it all down, you already know, you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down for today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, like talking Bulls basketball, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hey, let's talk about Jaden Ivey, man. Over the last few days, Jaden Ivey has made a number of posts that has my attention. And everybody know that certain posts that when it comes around, a lot of the times is more than just the sport of basketball. Now, Jaden Ivey has came over here to the Chicago Bulls, and I was one of those people that had belief that, hey, former lottery pick, you know what I'm saying, went through some injury, coming over to the Chicago Bulls, and maybe I was one of those ones that wanted to give him a legit chance to see if he can get back to where he was prior to the injury. But over the weekend, we witnessed a number of posts coming out from Jaden Ivey's social media, and it was a bit alarming in my opinion. He talked about, his religion, not trying to get too religious here. Talked about that, made a number of posts, and after going from just posting, words, he has taken, and moved further on to now video posts to where now he's speaking about a number of things, talking about love, talking about mental health and things like that. And look, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just on a personal note, man, everybody know that I am a military veteran who has separated from the military, and now I'm doing this and a number of other things throughout my life. But I take mental health personal because I witnessed some losses from friends, from people I worked alongside with. So what's going on with Jaden Ivey? I hope that he can get that call for help. It seems like it's a call for help. I'm hoping that somebody can answer that call for him and get the help that he deserves. Simply because after coming off an injury and working your way back, we know that that's a long process for athletes, especially, those that are at the top level in their respective sport. And after going through that, you started to work your way back through rehabilitation. Through that rehabilitation period, you go back and join your team. Now you're being a part of the team, and then you get traded onto a team that's not necessarily elevating itself in the Chicago Bulls. So that can take a toll on said players. And the only reason I'm discussing this right now is because I'm a big advocate for people dealing with mental health issues, because I've seen some results that nobody should ever want to see as a former military member. So I'm just speaking on it. I'm not saying that he's crashing out. I'm not saying that he's losing his mind. I'm personally looking at it as a call for help. And if that's too much for some of you all to handle, it's understandable. But this is my platform that I built up alongside my uncle and C-Dub. And we do take certain things seriously. And this, for me, is definitely one of those things that I'm going to take seriously and have a real conversation about. So I don't want to go on and harp too long about it. I want to get back to the basketball portion of this episode, but I also wanted to start this thing off by just reminding you all, the supporters over here on Shy Boys Podcast, and wherever you may find me, whether that's Chicago Bear Central, NFL Central, or doing some type of, feature on somebody else's podcast, that, yeah, we love these sports. We love those things, but life be life in some time. So if you are a follower and a supporter of Shy Boys Podcast, man, just know that there is somebody that you can absolutely talk to take care of your mental health. I've been there before. It seems like Jaden Ivey is there right now. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, the people, the family members of this podcast wouldn't be where it is now without you all. So just remember, just as much as y'all are supporting us, we are supporting you all as well. We really treat this as, a growing fan base amongst ourselves, because we're a fan of a lot of you guys as well, who come in and kick it and talk with us and have a lot of fun. And we learning about y'all learning about us. Yeah, it's just doing it virtually, but a lot of the times, while a lot of us are going through this thing we call life, sometime I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I pop up on this podcast even when I'm dealing with and going through some of my stuff, because some of y'all continue to show up. So let's just make sure that we taking care of each other, man, and make sure that y'all understand that there is a way that you can go out there and find some help and some success to get back to your old self or feel like a new person. Because Jaden Ivey, once he gave those comments and talked about the old him is dead and stuff like that, I literally came up here and said that it sounded like a man that was defeated, and that was bigger than basketball for me, bigger than any other sport for me, just taking care of yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself and make sure you always stay blessed. Now let's get into the basketball aspect of this episode right here. Let's talk about Matas Buzelis, but sharing his belief with the world in head coach Billy Donovan, and him having a belief that Billy Donovan can turn this thing around in Chicago. Matas Buzelis said when talking about Billy Donovan, Matas Buzelis said this: he's been everything, man. He's been a role model to me. He's someone I look up to as a person, as a human being. He's a guy that's been a cornerstone for me. He's pushed me to my limits, and he's going to keep pushing me until I can't be pushed anymore. I can't thank somebody like that enough. He tells you the truth every time. It's hard to do that, especially in this league, to have someone in your corner that is going to tell you everything you need to hear. And I respect it. That's his perspective on his head coach. Look, some people are going to go out there and say he just being a professional. Look, there are some cases to where we even watched this season to where we look at guys like Paolo Banchero down in Orlando, to where he's literally going into the media and pretty much throwing shots at his own head coach. So I'm going to take Matas Buzelis at his word for saying that, for sharing his belief in Billy Donovan. But can he absolutely turn it around? I don't know. I think that is one of those things to where you absolutely have to look at and you just say, hey, that's their personal relationship. There's always been some type of discourse, and at least in my mind, that the front office is not on page with the head coach, and that's where we're having the problems. Like I said, there was rumors over the offseason that Billy Donovan had an assignment to scout guys like Derek Queen, and the front office went out there and drafted Noah Essengate. We have evidence of the Chicago Bulls ending the season with their end of the season press conference, which another one will be coming up in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait to hear it. But they're talking about size and big men and bringing things to fruition and getting younger and faster and more defensive minded and bringing toughness. And then nothing really has transpired over that time period to where we're feeling comfortable enough in the bigs that we have. Yeah, we like Jalen Smith. Yeah, we like Zach Collins, but those are not bigs that we're going to be like, oh, this is a big that's a potential all-star moving forward. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things to where you have to look at it. And I got to give credit for Matas Buzelis. Billy Donovan is under a lot of fire right now, and that's coming from having to dealing with talent. They have talent, but not a really, really talented, basketball club, still trying to be competitive and not get their ass whooped. And then on alongside of that, still just trying to make sure that he's keeping himself in a really good mindset while the season is getting closer and closer to concluding. So it's one of those things to where you look at Matas Buzelis and you respect it because, hey, all shits and like for all purposes, like some things that Billy Donovan does to Matas Buzelis, I don't necessarily like it. I keep it real with you all. But if Matas Buzelis is seeing this as a part of his process of growing and being a better basketball player, how could I sit there and get mad at what Matas Buzelis believes is best for him? Yeah, I might not like it, but I'm not in his shoes. So I got to give credit to Matas Buzelis simply because I look at it and him saying, hey, I'm a player that wants to get coached hard. I'm a player that wants a coach to push me to my ultimate level to where I can reach some of my goals and a guy that I can trust. And that's one of those things. Yeah, your coach might have some flaws when it comes to the X's and O's on a basketball court, but can you relate and lean on your head coach in the time of need And for Matas Buzelis to come out here and say, I look up to him as a person, I trust him as a human being, so on and so forth, that speaks volumes of Billy Donovan as the person, not necessarily the coach, because we see the games and there are some things to where we question a lot. But as a human being and a person, I got to show love and respect to Matas Buzelis for keeping it 100. And Billy Donovan is still standing 10 toes down on his we going to be competitive stuff. So it is what it is. The season is getting ready to conclude after tonight's game. The Bulls have 7 games left. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for it all to be over. I am sick of watching my team, man. But the love of the game and the love for showing up on this podcast, man, it keeps me coming back every single time, even through the hard times. Man, I still got to show up for y'all and appreciate y'all for showing up for us, because it has not been easy. We've been roasting the team. We've been cussing out the team. We cheered on the team. And I think that in one of these times right now, as a content creator, even though it gets tough, we still got to show up, simply because this is what we chose to do. You just can't bail the ship when everything is bad and then get on board when things start to turn around. We don't know when it's going to turn around, but we'll be right here with it, man. We'll be right here with it, I guess. But hey, now later tonight, the Chicago Bulls have a matchup versus the San Antonio Spurs, who are really trying to peak at the right time and really trying to grab that number 1 seed in the Western Conference. And Wemby, he's on a tear to try to go out there and supplant himself as the MVP of this season. This is a guy that is outstanding. I'm growing as a fan of Victor Wembanyama. For real, for real. I love my Bulls. I like Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis, but man, I gotta show love to those guys that are balling all around the league. Guys like Anthony Edwards is one of my favorites to watch, and Victor Wembanyama this season has been on a tear offensively and defensively. But the biggest question is, in tonight's matchup, will we be kicking our feet up by the second half? That's the biggest question, because in the last 3 games, we watched the Bulls get stomped by the 76ers, really didn't compete much in the OKC game either, and lost on the last few seconds to the Memphis Grizzlies. That's been the last 3 games for us as a Bulls nation watching our Chicago Bulls. We hoping that it's going to be competitive. I don't necessarily think the Chicago Bulls are going to win this game. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm sorry for the pessimist and being pessimistic, Pete, but it is what it is. I got to call it how I see it. I think that there are a lot of guys frustrated right now. Most notably, it is Josh Giddey. He is pissed at everything right now, and that is starting to show on the basketball court more so than we've seen over the last year or so with him in a Bulls uniform. And I just look at it for what it really is, man. Like, hey, he ready to go. He ready to go on vacation. Probably ready to go back to Australia. Probably ready to go see his family and kick it. Yeah, I don't know if he got a lady. Probably want to go see her or something and just have a time off to try to reset and get ready for next season and hope that it'll be much better. But these guys are fed up. They tired of going out there competing because this shit is just not good. But we'll see what happens, man. I'm interested to see if Leonard Miller continue to finish the season off strong. Same thing for Rob Dillingham. We're going to see what Colin Sexton is going to do for the Chicago Bulls, even though I don't take much into that scenario with Colin Sexton. I'm more so focused on 4 other players, and that's Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, and Rob and Leonard Miller. I'm more so focused on those guys. Colin Sexton, he's been, he had his moments to where I could cheer for him and have some fun, but obviously I'm more focused on the other 4 players that I just previously mentioned. But hey, we gonna be here right here on the game, calling the game. C-Dub, I know he gonna be rocking and rolling, ready, and I'm ready just to watch the game. I'm ready to see some of the players I mentioned, and I'm interested to watch Victor Wembanyama. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, man. I think the kid is fantastic as a basketball player, and I love the mentality that he has. He wants to go out there and make the All-Star game competitive again. He's talking his smack to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm just hoping that one day, it don't necessarily got to be a 7'5" mofo in the Bulls uniform, but damn, can we get a guy that's going to talk greasy and back it up like that? I need to see it back in Chicago, man. I need to see it back in Chicago. I know the time is coming. The biggest question is, when will that time come? But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. Remember, man, take your mental health seriously. If you need to take a day, if you need to call somebody, make sure you need to just reach out to somebody. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, man. So if y'all need that, make sure you take care of yourself. And then lastly, man, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Hope it wasn't too personal to kick things off. But if it was, I'm sorry. I had to get it off my chest. And I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, man. And y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace, man. See y'all tonight.
Cognac. Gang.